everybody, it's Christine, the Haunt Girl, and today I'm talking about Urban Legends Haunt 2020 in Orange County, California. If you're new to my channel, take a moment to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any upcoming escape room reviews, haunted attraction walkthroughs, or anything else of the sort I do here on the channel. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. You rock. I went opening weekend to Urban Legends, and then I went back the second weekend. I'd like to thank Urban Legends for inviting me to opening weekend. That was very kind of you. We did pay for a VIP experience to go back on the second weekend because, well, frankly, opening weekend had a few bumps. They were a new event and they learned a lot, and we wanted to see the better version of this event. I actually held off on doing the review on opening weekend because I was honestly a little disappointed in how it turned out, and I knew that they were making improvements and changes based on feedback they were getting, and they were getting a lot of it. So if you found my review here by searching, looking for reviews because you've read a lot of bad reviews on them, take into consideration that many of those might have been from opening weekend, and you know, a new attraction. They had a lot of learning to do that first weekend, and they did improve. They sent out actually surveys and took that feedback. They actually took it and they made changes and adapted their attraction. And I think that's great. And that's what's important. So you aren't going to get that experience of opening weekend. You're going to get the experience of what's happening now, what they've learned from all of us that went through it. So let's talk about what this experience is and what it isn't and how it's changed. So the way it works, you get there in your car. You have to buy your tickets ahead of time, and you're going to have them on your phone, or I guess you could print them out if you wanted, but save a tree and just keep it on your phone. You're going to drive in, and they will direct you to pick up any merch or food or anything if you've pre-ordered that, which I think you have to do by 10 a.m. that day, but double check the website in case things have changed or I have that wrong. There are restrooms available. When you first get there, you will pull to the left. Make sure you tell the attendant that you need to use the restroom, and they will pull you off to the left where you would pick up merch and food. Use the restroom, come back to your car, and you're going to stay in your car for the rest of the event. You're not getting out of your vehicle. Eventually, you will get through the car line, and you will get to the person who checks your tickets and then puts you into one of the rows based on whether you have VIP or you don't have VIP. And if you have VIP, you tend to go to the center 2 rows. So the way that the setup inside is, there's a middle row with a lot of the props and sets and actors and you know, characters. Then there are like 3 rows on each side of that. So if you're VIP, you're in the center, you have a better view. If you're standard ticket, you may not be able to see what's going on in the center quite as easily because you're gonna have cars in the way. You don't know if you're going to be on the right or left side of that. And what happened for us, we went opening weekend, my husband drove, and we were on the right side. So my husband had a better view of everything. Then we went back second weekend. I drove thinking, well, you know, he got to see everything better than me. I'll get to see if I drive. Nope, we were on the left side. So I had to look past my husband again to try to see everything. So didn't seem to work out for me to get a good view, no matter where I was, because of the way our car is set up. You know, there's always going to be somebody between me and where I was based on which side I was on. So it happens. You don't get to choose which side you're on. So just be prepared for that. If you have VIP, you will get this like light up stick thing and a coupon for lemonade. I'm not sure if standard gets that or not. But the light up thing is supposed to let the photographers know who is VIP, so they make sure to come over and take your photos. I think you're in the row anyway, so they should know, but it's like a perk thing. It's a little thing that lights up and blinks. It's annoying. They want you to keep it in your windshield. And it's like, why is the blinky thing in the windshield? As the driver, I was like, turn the blinky thing on to not blinky, because I want to be able to not be distracted while I'm driving. The photographer missed us the first weekend, but they figured it out. They got their system down, and so we went back. We did get our photo, which was really cute. It's done in the car, and he worked really hard to make sure he got it because he was having a really hard time for some reason with the way our car was like the shadows or something. He really couldn't get my husband very well, so he just kept taking it till he got it right. So that was great, because a lot of times, attractions, people that do photography just kind of take it, they don't care. But he really put a lot of care into getting that photo right. So that was cool. They text it to you right then and there so you can see it, which is awesome. And that is a perk of VIP. Then you get to go into the attraction. So, one thing I forgot to mention is ticket prices, which you can find on the website. I think the cheapest is about $70, and they go up from there. Also note, there is a service fee. I think our service fee was $18 on the website, which service fees kind of suck, but it is what it is. So that's prices. But definitely go check them out, because they're different based on which day you go, and I think how many people in your car, and just so on and so forth. So you want to make sure you check that on the website, which will be in the description below. All right, so there are 5 scenes in this haunted attraction. The first one you go into, it looks like a drive-in movie, and there's a movie playing on the screen, and it's a bunch of different clips or scenes of kind of the stories that are to come. So you can find out about like what's about to happen. I don't think I actually watched that movie either time we went. I asked the director at one point, and the actor who plays the director of this this documentary, I asked him if I could find his video on YouTube.
Hello! How are we doing this evening?
We're well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful! I'm the director of our little documentary here tonight. It's about the urban legends of Southern California.
Awesome. Is it online anywhere?
Sorry?
Is it online anywhere where we can watch it again?
I believe on YouTube some people have filmed the documentary, but I'm not sure. I don't devolve in such things.
Okay.
What a tasty couple we have here. Would you all like to join me for dinner later? I'd be happy to have you.
Maybe another time.
I was hoping to see it outside of the haunt, because I have a hard time focusing on like videos when there are actors running around, and there were actors, and it was more fun to watch the actors than to watch a movie, in my opinion. But if you're not able to see the actors, then of course you can still watch the movie. So there is something going on that pretty much everyone can see pretty well in that first scene.
Hello, welcome to Legends. How you guys doing? Just in time for dinner, I see. Ooh, I could just eat you up. Watch out for crazy people.
I didn't understand what the actors were doing. They look like they work it in and out. They did come up to the window. So the first time we went, we were all the way up in the front. And so the director came by, but we never actually saw what the other guys were doing. But since we were in a really good location, and this is so important when you go through a drive-through haunt, as I've learned, is if you're not positioned in the right place, it can be really hard to see. And so we lucked out the second time, and we were on the left 4 cars back. So we were like that perfect place where we could just kind of see everything. We could see them interacting with other cars. They were coming up to us. Where when you're all the way up in the front, it's a little harder to kind of take everything in, because you pretty much have to turn around in your car. Which leads me to remind everyone, make sure you wash your windows, your windshield, and your back windshield, so you can see in and out of your windows. So that first scene, it's cool. It's kind of an intro. To me, it didn't really feel like a scary scene so much as it was like an introduction to what's about to happen. It also trains you that you go on the green light, you stop on the red, turn off your car, and turn off your lights, because you have to do that in every scene, and you sit there and you don't move. So then we go into the cave. This is like a bunch of shipping containers, and we drive in between the shipping containers, and there's people with headlamps, and they kind of hit the shipping containers and stare at you and rush your car and that sort of thing. They were working really hard. There's still not really a lot of them in there. I think they added actors to that scene from the first weekend, and so it is more, but it still was kind of like, okay, it felt like kind of like a scare zone at a haunt. Like, you walk through it, but it's not really like any story is happening, but there's like some monsters in there. Then we go to the Sasquatch scene, and this is probably my favorite idea for the scenes that they had set up. However, I don't know if it's as effective as it could have been, but they worked really hard to try to make it better, definitely the second time we went. So the way the scene is set up, there are trees around and there are tents. And if you are parked in a place where you cannot see a tent, you should try to maneuver your body so you can, because ultimately the scene kind of happens around you and then it culminates in the tent. So if you're missing that view, then you kind of miss what happens, which is what happened first weekend. And I was like, oh, what happened? So you see the people walking around with the megaphones yelling to each other through the forest, and then they go to bed, and then there's a Sasquatch. So you got to watch out for him. Then there's a carnival. This didn't have any actors first weekend. Now it has actors, which is great. They added some clowns, of course. You know, it's a carnival, and some sort of, I think, maybe a sacrifice, but I wasn't really sure. But the clowns were fun, and they ran around. They've got their, props with them, and they're loud and scary. And if you don't like clowns, of course, that scene is going to be scary for you. And then the last scene is the one everybody remembers, and that's good because it's the last scene. That's what you want to end on, is the thing you remember. And it is probably the best produced scene in the show, and that's Bloody Mary. And it's a bunch of dancers. Kind of reminds me of old Halloween Horror Nights when you'd walk in and there's like the cage dancers. So there's all these dancers, and they're very, very good, and they're putting a lot of effort into this dance, and they're working it. There's a row down the middle with a bunch of dancers on it, and then there are dancers on the front. Now, there weren't when we went the first time, at least that we could see, but there are dancers on the front a little bit too. So depending on where your car is, you may or may not be able to see as well. And then you're going to have this, they're going to like summon, I guess, Bloody Mary, and then, surprise, Bloody Mary. She is in the front. Now, I'm pretty sure the first time we went, she just stayed in the front. This time she went from the front and she kind of went down so everybody could see her, which is good because there was a lot of complaints that I'd heard from other people who said they never actually saw Bloody Mary. But I saw her in the front car. It was the only thing I saw the first weekend. But when we went back, of course, we could see a lot more. And so we got to see the dancers and Bloody Mary in the scene. And then it's over and you're back out on the road. And that's it. Overall, I had a lot of fun being able to go out and experience Halloween in a very safe way. The main thing about this attraction is that I felt safe. I felt safe because I was in my car, in my mask. Everybody stayed, distanced, or they were wearing masks if they got even remotely close to us. And just overall, really safe, fun experience. I'd say it's okay for you to bring kids to this. I don't see why it would be too scary for kids personally, but you know your kids, so don't bring your kids if they're like terrified of clowns, because, there's going to be clowns or, that sort of thing. There's a bit of a wait. First weekend, the wait was a lot longer. We also had earlier tickets the second weekend. The earlier your time slot, the better as far as your wait time is going to go, because they don't have a chance to get too backed up if you're really early. Overall, though, I think it's a really good event. I think it's a lot of fun, and they made improvements off of that kind of craziness of the first weekend. So I give them kudos for improving, listening to feedback, and trying to make the experience a lot better. And I think that they succeeded in improving it quite a bit. Again, I'm not sure if this format is the best format for a haunt. It's hard to say because it's such an interesting and unique year, and everyone's just trying to be as accommodating as possible with everything that's going on, and still let us have, fun, and still have businesses running. And I think it's great to be able to support a local business, and that's what this is. So I say give them a shot, go out, have fun, and enjoy yourself, and have a happy Halloween. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. There are other drive-through experiences and other experiences happening. There's some walk-through haunts. There's some drive-in movies. There's a lot of things going on, and I have a list of them on my blog, thehauntgirl.com, so make sure you go there and check it out. And also let me know in the comments below if there's anything that I missed on my list, or anything that you think I should go check out that I haven't had a chance to do yet. Thank you so much for watching. And again, check out my blog, thehauntgirl.com.